And we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, wadaus and wadauettes, where after a long struggle, how long have we been trying to go live?
Like 2 hours?
Like 2 hours. Like, man, ladies, no, guys, if you have a woman in your house, please not let them struggle with technology. They might be wanting to do a simple step, but you are just watching them there struggle, man. But I'm glad that we are here finally.
Finally, yeah.
I'm happy to have you on board. Please introduce yourself to our guest who might not have met you before.
Give me a second, Joe. I'm coming back. You know, juggling two things at the same time. More than two, actually.
More than two. You know, when you're a mother, you cannot do one thing. Your video just froze. Someone is calling you.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah, that's why your video froze. What a rocky start.
I know.
But I think we are having a rocky start because of the gems that are going to be in this video.
Yeah, I think so. Let's see. Okay.
You're not telling me. You're not telling me you received that call.
I'm back. I'm done. I just texted them, so I'm back.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you attended yesterday's live, I promised you that I will bring you a guest, one hell of a guest who has a lot of gems for you. Please, without further ado, introduce yourself to our people.
All right. Thank you so much, Joe. Thank you, first of all. Thank you so much for having me, for hosting me. You know what we went through before we come here? It was...
The price that we had to pay, we killed so many along the way.
Oh my gosh. I'm so glad we finally made it here.
Yeah.
Right? Congratulations. It wasn't easy.
It was not easy.
All right. So, yeah, my name is Mary Murerwa. I am from Rwanda, originally from Rwanda.
Okay.
But I'm based in Phoenix, Arizona. I am a mother of 4. And, you know, in our country, we say, and one husband. Yeah, I don't know how you say that, if you have that in Kenya, but most of the times when we introduce ourselves, we like to say, I'm a mother of, 2, 3, or 1 child and 1 husband. So you make sure that you mention that.
Yeah, and 1 husband.
And 1 husband. Yeah.
That is a good way to set the pace so that anyone who's trying, in Kenya we say nyemelearin, anyone who's trying to change the constitution, they can know that the constitution is intact.
Untouchable.
The constitution is untouchable. It's the supreme constitution of the United States. You cannot just
So yeah, that's who I am.
Okay.
Yeah, and I am a part-time content creator, not a full-time. I'm a full-time mom, but a part-time content creator. But I'm in 2025, I'm looking forward to making it full-time as well.
All the best and big up yourself. I feel like
thank you.
I feel like that's one of your callings because I've gotten a chance to interact with your channel and the way you interact with your guests. I feel like you would, if you just shifted a little bit, make it full time. Then when the kids are not in the house, make it
full time. Yeah,
they are not in the house, and then when they come, make it part time. I'm sure you can go far.
Yeah, that's what I'm planning to do. Like starting from this year, I've been doing it, but not full time. When I get time, I go do 1 video, come back to it after a month or 2. But now. Yeah, to be honest with you, that's what I've been doing. But yeah, I want to focus on it this year and make it.
Yeah. Me as well. I want you to keep me accountable as well, and I will keep you accountable because
yes. So now I got myself a content creator accountability sub partner.
Yes, and in the military they call it battle buddy or a wingman. They say you don't go anywhere without a wingman. or a battle buddy. So we got ourselves we got each other as wingmen in this content.
Yes, we got it.
Yeah. I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you're here, and nice to meet you virtually. And agreeing to come here to share your experiences with our viewers and guests. If you're not a member of this channel, welcome. If it's your first time, welcome, karibu sana. If you're new here, my name is John Duty. I share my experiences abroad, mostly on immigrants' experiences. I also try sometimes to entertain you with other things, but I can say I am not a pro when it comes to those other things. Sometimes it's good to talk about what you know. So in this journey of immigrating to the United States, starting life here, working, I have a skin in the game, and I'm here just to share those gems with you. This is the first time I'm talking to a Rwandese woman. Guess what? Now, if you've never met a Rwandese woman in full force, she's going to give you her kind of power. When did you move to the United States, Mary?
Awesome. So actually, so moving in the United States this time was my second time, but I had come to United States way back when I was, that was in 2007.
Okay.
I was in high school. So we came as a group of students. It was called Rwanda Youth Leadership Exchange Program that was started by the Ministry of Education back in Rwanda in collaboration with the U.S. Embassy in Rwanda. So it was amazing. So they selected a group of 18 students, 2 girls from, so 18 students from 6 schools in the country. And then from each school, they were taking 2 girls and a boy. So each school was giving out three students. So I happened to be one of those 3 from my school.
Damn, that means you're a top performer.
Oh, I was.
Yeah, and you went to a group. Did you go to the ones we call group of schools, like for rich people? Because how dare you go to America while in high school in Rwanda?
Yeah, just think about it, right?
Yeah.
It was amazing. So every time I'm talking about my United States experience, I'm actually talking about that one in 2007.
Allah.
Because it was my first time, my first time being out of
Africa.
Out of Africa, yes. And then I was young, I wasn't 18 yet. So you can imagine the excitement and that experience at that age. It was amazing. Like it got stuck in my head.
First time on a plane?
Yes.
Oh man.
First time, everything really.
Oh man. You had a blast, man. Like I just to be on a plane before 18, I will never shut up about it.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
So when I'm talking about my story and the US and moving to US, I like to go back and refer to that because it's where it all started from, I should say. Because when we came here, we spent here like 2 months traveling in different states. We got hosted by host families in Alabama for like 3 weeks in Huntsville. So when I went back from that, when that's journey stopped and we went back to Rwanda, that experience and everything that I experienced kind of got stuck in my brain.
Yeah.
So you remember? No, let me say that. Like I'm saying, you remember as if we grew up together. I remember when we were growing up, we used to read, like we had books as kids, and so we would look at pictures. Our dad would bring us books. My father was a teacher. So he used to bring us some books, and the books had some nice pictures of white kids. They were young, they were going to school, and
Yeah.
has like I remember the pictures that I used to see in those books,
Mm-hmm.
and the the weather here, how weather changes, like in Eastern Coast. Are you based on Eastern Coast, right?
Yeah, I mean the East Coast, yes.
East Coast.
Yeah.
So during actually fall, you know how the trees, the branches and the leaves fall, and how they change colors. They are red and brown and yellow, and you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how that how everything changes and how beautiful it is especially during fall.
Mm-hmm.
So those books had those pictures, and I remember I would look at those pictures and
Yeah.
start wondering how they were very beautiful. And I was like, so how do people feel, people who live in this country, in this kind of environment,
How do they
who
feel? Must
like,
be.
how do they feel? Like, it was like, I loved it, I liked it. And
Yeah.
so when we came here during that time, we came in fall. So we came right at
On
that
time.
yeah,
Yeah.
when fall was fall and trees and branches were falling and leaves. So I got to witness and to experience the book experience that I used to have. I got to experience it live now. Like, I saw it.
Did you
And
have family?
everything else that everything else that we experienced, what we went through, what we did here, me
Mm-hmm.
being young at that age and for the very first time, like that experience combined with the book experience, the picture experience,
That was it.
it got stuck somewhere in my brain. So when we went back after our our journey, and when
Yeah.
we went back to Africa, to Rwanda, I kept asking God and even wondering myself. So I went to this country and I saw all this that I saw, but how will I be able to go back there?
Yeah. How can
But,
I
but
go
how
there?
can I go back there? How?
Wait, now that means you had a passport before 18?
Yeah,
Oh, damn. So with a
with
passport,
US visa, with US visa. Don't
with
forget that.
not just any passport, with a
No,
US visa.
not just any visa, but
Yeah.
US visa.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So now the only thing that is left is how you are going to find out your way back.
my way back.
Yeah.
That was the question. Because
Yeah.
I loved everything. I loved the country. I loved, like, it was great. So I kept asking myself, will I ever go back?
Mm-hmm.
How is it gonna happen? Like,
Mm-hmm.
but I kept hoping and praying for it.
Mm-hmm.
And everything I was doing after, like I should say, was towards trying to come back here.
The power of manifestation. You started manifesting towards it, and your thoughts and actions were leading you towards it.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then after 12 years later,
Oh man. It feels like the movie 12 Years a Slave. You've watched it. Like the patience you have to wait for 12 years.
let me tell you, Joe,
Yeah.
and our audience,
Yeah.
patience in life, patience. I like to say that in life, patience is everything. But when
Yeah.
you look at it, well, everything is everything, but patience is everything.
Patience is a virtue. It's a virtue. You
Yeah.
must have it to succeed.
Yes. Yeah. So 12 years later, it happened, and I'm telling you the story because I'm talking about me coming to US before I was 18. I think I
Mhm.
was 17 then.
Mhm.
So I was in high school, and
Yeah.
then 12 years later, I came back. This time I was around 30, 32, 33. Yeah.
Yeah, but
So,
allow me to cut you short. I want us to emphasize on the patience part, because I see so many people applying for a visa or going for an interview, either green card or F1 student, and
mm,
most of the time you are denied the first time. You're not successful
mm,
the first time. or even the second time, or even the third time, and people give up and feel like it's the end of the world. But you were patient for 12 years. Like you just planning and waiting for 12 years. You did not give up. So I feel like that is so powerful because that shows how big of a dream this was for you.
Yeah, it was. It was really. And it's
Yeah.
very, very important. Along the way, you meet a lot of things. Life happens, and
Yeah.
things happen, challenges, all these things. Sometimes you even give up on that dream. You're like, oh, now this time I don't think I'm gonna make it. I'm giving up, like, And
Yeah.
I see there's so many people who go through that. They
Yeah.
give up, but if you hang in there, time comes.
The
Like
time.
the Bible says it. Like the Bible says, there's time for everything, right?
Yeah.
So if you hang in there, that very right time comes.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't give up so easily.
That's a good way to put it, because some people might approach this thing as a part-time thing. This abroad thing as part-time. You just do it when I am bored here in Africa and I want to go abroad. Maybe I will try out this season, especially during the season for green card. Most people try out during that season, and then after the season is done, someone does not do anything about their dream for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
It will never work if that's you. You have to eat, drink, think about it every day.
Every day.
Pray, manifest, pray about it. Like I remember for my case, before I came with a green card, and it was during COVID. And the process was messed up because of COVID. But for 2 years, basically from the moment I was told I have been selected to the process, to the moment I got my visa, was about 2 years. For 2 years, I did not think about anything. My thoughts did not even focus. One energy was not put on anything. I could be in
I like that.
Yeah, I could be in town just walking around doing my own business, but my top agenda in my mind is how I'm going to make ends meet to make this thing happen. So
yeah,
I'm glad you mentioned that. 12 years later.
12 years later. Yeah, it's like the same thing. I went back and I did other things. I got married. I finished high school, went to university, finished university, worked. I had kids, but I was still working on my dream coming back here.
Yeah, you never gave up.
I never gave up on it.
Yeah.
So everything I was doing, I was still going to America.
How come you still continue pursuing it? Because most people, especially after they get married, life becomes busy. Know your priorities on your family. Did you just focus, or even with the kids, you were just thinking about it? Because I know for sure, if I had like a family and I am married before I came, the process, maybe I might have been delayed, because families require a lot of concentration.
Yeah. I did everything else, but I still worked on my dream, right?
Yeah.
I kept applying. I this is something that I had not mentioned.
Yeah.
I applied for this green card.
Yeah.
For like, I cannot even count how many times.
Yeah.
But every time they would open, I would apply.
Every time they open, you apply. Every time you apply.
Yes. I kept doing that. I kept doing that until I won it. 12 years later.
That is so resilience and persistence.
As long as everything else was going on, I was very busy, Joe. I was very, very busy. I was a very busy woman. I had children, young children. I was working. I was, our African life. Like when you're working, you have children, you have a family, you have all these things going on.
Yeah.
But I never missed applying for this green card and praying about it. Praying for it.
And
until it happened.
And applying right, that means you did your research and you did the right thing. In my case, for instance, I applied 3 times, but I can say in my view, I only applied once. Like I
Mm.
once and got selected the first time, because the other 2 times it was not even an application. The first time I was not even on the correct website for dv.state.
I know.
It was these websites that they usually create when it's about time and now, and then when you go through the process, they tell you to pay something. So
Mm.
when the moment they tell you to pay something, you know that's a lie. It's not the real.
Mm. Yeah.
So when they told me to pay something, that was it. I did not proceed.
Mm.
Okay, the second time I was on the right website, but when they asked for my picture, I took my phone, took a selfie in a white wall,
Oh, I see.
and then edited, cropped it, and then uploaded. You know, the picture is the number one disqualifier.
Mm.
So that did not go through. So I can say the third time I did things to the latter and I was successful. So I think sometimes people might say, I applied this year, I was not successful, but did you first of all do the right thing?
Yeah. Somewhere, you're not doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Even me, I didn't get it the first time. You
Yeah.
know, it was like after very many trials. I don't even remember how many times.
Yeah.
But I was also not doing the right things. Until I did the right thing, it's when it went through.
With experience, with so many mistakes, you do it. So you started applying before you had kids.
Exactly.
And then you had kids. Now you are started applying, including your family.
Yes.
Damn. Hey, that's the persistence in that. So tell me the moment you got selected and how that worked until when you decided, when now you guys moved to the States.
Oh, wow. It was in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
So I had, it's crazy because I had my little boy, like I have 4 kids. My oldest is 15, 14, 6, 8. She's going to be 8 in May this year. And then the last one is 7.
Okay.
So the last one, the one that I'm saying who is 7, back then when we got selected, he was not yet even, I think it was like 4, 5 months.
Oh,
No,
wow.
even less than that.
He was still a toddler, baby.
He was a baby. Literally, he was a baby.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I remember. Yeah, he was a baby. He was, I think he was like,
Yeah, because he's 7 now, and we're in 2025. You guys moved to in 2019.
2019.
He was almost 1 year old. He was in months, right?
Yeah, but when we started, like the whole process, he was before 1. He was like 5, 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was not easy, and I was working, but the excitement, right? I was so excited, and I remember I never even mentioned it at my job because sometimes when you with that excitement and everything, and then you mention it, somebody might get on your way.
Yeah.
So I kept it a secret. Only my husband knew about it, and my family members.
Yeah.
But we work towards relocating. So it's also not easy, especially when you are relocating with a family. You have kids, and you were somebody who has been established back home. I had a lot of things going on. So. And even my husband had a lot going on, but we had to figure out in a period of three months, everything was like on the right track, and we were ready to set off and come.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember the journey itself, the tickets, it was expensive.
Yeah, because I'm thinking, first of all, the toddler, how do they get their passports? If they are kids, like below 1 year.
They get the passports. Yeah.
And
in Rwanda, when you have children like as young as those, you have to go with them to you take them to the immigration office. They take their pictures. So you apply for their passports like the normal way you do it for
Okay.
adults. Yeah,
Okay.
but I had to go. Like, I think I went there for like 2-3 days. Yeah, putting in application. We did applications, and then after like 2-3 days, they call you for interview. You
Mhm.
go there. You have to go with the kids. You have to go with the children, with whoever you were applying for,
Yeah.
and then they take the pictures and everything.
Yeah.
So the passport application wasn't that very hectic,
Mm-hmm.
but
And
something that was hectic. Hmm?
I'm sorry, continue.
Yeah, something that was hectic was actually bringing them here. The journey,
The journey.
the journey.
What about the medical part of it?
No, it wasn't that very
But it was
difficult.
costly,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. In terms
Ye-
of budget
Yeah.
and tickets and medical part of it and tickets, paying for all these things, we spent a
Essentially,
lot of money.
no, those are 6 people now, right?
Mm-hmm.
You guys were balling. You guys had money in
We
Rwanda.
we had money.
Why would you even want to come to the United States? You guys were good. You know, I usually tell my audience, in my view, when before I came to the United States, I was poor. I was living in the ghetto. So for me,
Oh,
yeah, so for me, this was one hell of an opportunity because
I know.
anything. I was struggling so much, and I believed in the American dream. I'd always wanted to come to the US. So
Huh.
for me, I feel like it was a big deal, and I usually tell my audience, I feel like the US is usually enjoyable at first to someone who was either living in the ghetto or living in the country, not in the city, in the country. Yeah. But if you had your own business, or you had a top job, or you had something good going on in Africa, I feel when most people who are up here in Africa, when they come here, they get disappointed. Tell
Yeah.
me about now. You've spent all that and you've entered the promised land, the promised land in the US of A. Most of my viewers here will be concerned. How did you even afford now starting life in the US with 4 kids?
Yeah. Now let me go back to your question. I'm still remembering it. If you
Yeah.
you said you asked if why did you even come? If you were doing it, you were at the top of your game back in Rwanda,
Yeah.
why would you come here?
Yeah.
And I'll go back to the American dream, the
Yeah.
one that brought you here. Everybody has that dream, right?
Amen. If there's something America knows how to do, is to sell it.
Whether you're living in the country, like you said, or
Yeah.
whether you're living in the city, in the ghetto, wherever you're living, as long as you're not in USA,
You want to come to the
you
US,
want to come to the USA. You have that American dream. We
right?
were doing well back in Rwanda.
Mm-hmm.
So my background is in journalism and communication. I did journalism. My background was in media.
Yeah.
So I did TV and radio reporting and anchoring and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was no money, right? There
Right.
was no money. So I decided to branch off, and I did like pure public relations and communications.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing well. I worked with World Vision.
Damn,
I know World Vision is known in Kenya.
yeah,
I had colleagues from Kenya we were working with, and even our national director was Kenyan, right?
it's global,
So,
right?
huh?
It's a global organization, right?
Yeah, it's global. Yeah, it's global.
Mm-hmm.
So I was doing pretty well, and from World Vision, I worked with another non-government organization called CHAI, Clinton Health Access Initiative.
Mm-hmm.
It's an organization of former President Bill Clinton, focused in nutrition and health, So I was doing well, and my husband was a director with another organization. So we were all in NGOs. He was making good money. I was making good money, right?
Yeah.
But we had American dream.
You felt like if we are living this large here, That means when we go to America now,
we're gonna kill it.
it's
We're
just
gonna kill it there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, we also American Dream also. Somebody's calling me.
It's busy CEO, World Bank,
Oh my
UN.
God. And yeah, when you have children now, you start thinking about your children, the future of your children. Now, I always tell people that by that time when we relocated here, like our future, our lives, like I would say we were like living our lives, we were at the top of it. That's
Right.
where we were. Now we started thinking about our children, the future of our children. So American Dream also involves education, the part of it, education, giving the best education to your children. So we were like, so we have to go to this America and sacrifice all our lives and everything we had for our children in America.
So that they can get the American education.
The American education. Basically, that's what brought us here. That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You made the ultimate sacrifice for the children. Yeah, but before we even proceed with the initial stages, so far, do you think it was worth the sacrifice? Because I feel like in Rwanda, they are very good international schools and you guys could afford it. So do you think it has been worth the sacrifice so far in terms of education part of it? You know, American education versus the kind of education we get back at home if you get a good school.
I feel like maybe it's because these children are still, you know, in these lower primary schools, you know, elementary schools.
Yeah.
I'm yet to figure out what it looks like. But from what I'm seeing right now, it looks like the education system here makes everything very easy. Maybe I'm comparing it to the way, you know, how we did it in Africa, how it is in Africa, because in Africa, everything is struggling. Everything is struggling, right? It's mechanical.
Yeah.
But here I see what these kids are studying. I look at their books. I even sometimes ask them, are you really studying? But the good thing about it is like everything they are studying is tailored towards like the profession, like what they want to be in future. But you know, I went to school in my lower primary schools and secondary schools. I was born and raised from Uganda. That's something that I didn't talk about. So I went to school in Uganda. Like I lived in Uganda for like 18 years of my life. Actually, when I went to Rwanda, that time when we came here, I was just 1 year old in Rwanda. So in Uganda, what we were studying in schools, like it would not help you in future. Like we would not use it in future, even today. I don't know if that's the same thing in Kenya, but in Uganda, there are some things we studied that we are not using, that we like. Even today, when I think about it, I'm like, oh, that was a lot of time wasted and money.
A lot of BS. You're just studying things that will never help you.
Like I know.
I was in primary school and my backpack was this huge. You had so many textbooks, so many. You need exercise books, textbooks. You need this kind of pens, this kind of mathematical sets. Bro, I will not even need, I don't know how, if I will ever use calculus in mathematics. Or I don't know if the geography.
The history part. I sit and remember the history part that we were studying, the story of Jipiri and Rabong. I was like, so how am I using that? How is it helping me?
And they don't even teach you the real history or things that will be beneficial to you, you know.
Yeah.
Even like CRE, like you spend all time reading CRE, like the Christian religious education. You have Bible at home, you can do that. But
I know, right?
They focus on what you want to be in future.
Yeah, that's the difference. That's what I see, that maybe as they
Mhm.
grow up, as they get older and going to college, my firstborn is like 3 years away from college. So I'm yet
Mhm.
to see what they'll be doing in college, which I think is gonna be totally different from what we were doing in college or university or even in high school back home.
Right.
Yeah. So I think, yeah, it was worth it. For now, I think it was
For,
worth it for
for
now.
now, it is worth it. Yeah, because
Yeah.
like in terms when you look at the kids part, it's worth it because in Africa, the kind of education, the American kind of education, you pay top dollar in Africa.
Yes,
It's what
it's very, very, very expensive.
very expensive. It's what they call a group of schools and international schools.
Mm-hmm.
They teach kids there to focus on what they want to be in life. But in
Mm.
small public schools, you're taught everything for survival. But
Yeah.
here, the public school is like the international school of Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you land in the US of A with
Mm-hmm.
your one husband, with your one husband and four kids.
Mm-hmm.
How did you first of all, how did you even find a host? Do you have a family here? And how did you start now life here with a
Yeah.
family? Yeah.
Yeah. And I know that's one of the questions that a lot of people are when they apply, when they're applying, when they're going through all this process, they
Hmm.
are asking like, oh, so how do I go about it?
Hmm.
But yeah, so the first for how we got a host. So my husband had his good friend who used actually to be one of his colleagues at work. They
Hmm.
had relocated like 5 years before.
Okay.
So they were here. So they kept talking, how you keep those relationships and those friends and those friendship is also very important. You don't want to burn all the bridges because you never know when you will need this person. That's again coming back to how people relate to each other and how, it's, it's also very, very key.
Hmm.
So they were still talking, they were still good friends. But so when this happened, obviously he was the first person to be contacted.
Okay.
They were still talking, and this guy and his family also agreed to host us we would be when we would be here. Um, so we came. It was very the journey itself was hectic, like I said. My youngest son was only 1 year old. He was like 11 months, was not yet 1 year old.
Hmm.
He was still nursing. We reached here, and then we came during winter. And you know where we were headed? We were headed to Maine, the
Hmm.
coldest, the coldest state.
Yeah, Maine
It
is
was
on top
snowing.
of New York, on there near Canada. Right?
Yeah, yeah. It's 4 hours 4 hours drive from Canada border, so it's
Oh,
very,
wow.
very close to Canada.
That's so cold. Even the change of weather, I'm sure for adults you can adjust, but how did the kids take that kind of cold?
Oh,
From
they got sick from that kind of cold. They
Mhm.
had how I don't know how they call it because I don't remember the term they used to. So they got sick. They were coughing for the first 2-3 weeks.
Yeah,
And my friend having children for the first time in that cold winter, in that period of time, uh,
yeah,
season, they want to go out. They're from Africa where the
yeah,
sun shines all day long. So they wanted to go outside to pray, and I had to dress. Do you know that dressing up children during winter is also like it takes you hours
yeah,
because they don't dress anyhow.
yeah,
Yeah. So buying them the clothes, they need the right type of clothes for that season, and then dressing them. It's gonna take you like 2 hours preparing them just to go out and play in the snow.
yeah.
Yeah. So that adjusting to that kind of doing things
Hmm.
wasn't easy.
And I'm assuming you guys used all your savings to make sure when you come here even just
Definitely.
to buy them
Definitely.
clothes. You've not
Yeah.
started working.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
and
when you come, you
mhm,
just don't go, you start working just like that. It takes you some time, right?
yeah, sometime, yeah.
So yeah. So yeah, we used all our money, all our savings. So
Yeah, and I think that point is important because, especially for green card, most
mhm.
people assume that it's a free thing because it's
Yeah.
green card now. The US will make arrangements for you, make sure they give you the visa, and then you travel. They'll buy you a ticket, and then they will give you a place to stay. That is the
Mhm.
assumption that me I had. In fact, when you are doing your DS 60. Yeah, when you're applying for your DS260, there's a drop down arrow that asks you, where do you plan to go and live? And then the drop
Mm.
down arrow has so many addresses. So me, I chose somewhere in Washington, D.C., thinking that the government will pay for me an apartment there. So that means it's not for free.
Oh my God.
You
It's
need,
not. It's not. It's something you also have to plan for.
yeah,
You need to be having some money on the side to,
right,
yeah, to take you through, to push you for some time before you even start working.
yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
So yeah, so we came, we landed.
Mhm.
Everything looked good in snow, in winter.
You've
We
come,
enjoyed winter for the first time, but for a short period of time. And
yeah,
then we started getting sick
uh,
from the weather.
from the weather, change of climate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But
How,
we adjusted after some time.
mhm,
We got used to it.
mhm. So how
And
was
mhm,
transition for you? Like,
mhm.
did you now start looking for NGO jobs or uh, how, we were talking earlier on when we first met about how your host can influence your future in
Yeah,
America.
yeah, yeah,
What are
yeah.
the things you feel like most people who host Africans here might miss out or do either right or wrong?
Well, I don't think sometimes yeah, that's what we were talking about. I usually tell people that someone who hosts you here, your host, has the power to either make or break you in this country. Why?
Yeah,
Because these are the people who guide you, like they are your guiding light when you get in this country. You don't know anything. It's a new country,
yeah,
it's a new life,
mm-hmm.
everything is new.
Mm-hmm.
So that person who has been here before you, they
Mm-hmm.
will they'll guide you through, right? I don't think it can be very easy for somebody to come here by themselves and figure out everything by themselves. It's very hard. It's very
Yeah,
hard.
yeah,
You have to rely to somebody who has been here for some time,
yeah.
right? So
Mm-hmm.
when that person is not careful, or you yourself is not careful, you
Mm-hmm.
will end up like really, you will end up like that person will shape your life here.
Yeah, they will shape
You
your
will
future.
go, you will work, yeah, your future life. You will go to work where they work.
Mhm.
The
Yeah,
market, the stores, the grocery stores where they go, that's where you're likely to go. If
yeah,
you have kids like us who had children that were going to school, if
yeah,
that person has children who are going to school, that's the school your children will go to.
yeah. Even the
So,
neighborhood where they live, if where you
yeah,
find them
exactly.
living, that will now shape your goals or expectation of where you want to live when you move out. So, and some people even get stuck in the state where their host was living. They just live in the same state.
Exactly. That's
So,
true. That's
see,
true.
because
So
you don't have a mentor.
mhm. It takes a lot of energy and and a lot of thinking and figuring out for you to detach yourself from that person, to disconnect your life and
Right.
everything from that person, from your host. And most of the times people just get comfortable there. They don't want to try hard to disconnect and go out and figure out their own lives after some
Yeah.
time. So
Yeah.
you end up just like the life of your host. You end up living like the way they're living. I'm not saying that they're living a bad life or anything, but
But you have options. Why would you not want to change?
Exactly.
Yeah, but also I've talked about dopamine levels, and how sometimes they work when we want something. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes when we want something so bad, our dopamine levels are so high, and we are motivated. We feel like there's nothing that can stop us. And then
Mm.
once you achieve the thing, the dopamine levels drop down. Now you're just chilled. So I feel like most of us Africans, our dopamine levels are so high when we want to come to the US. So
And when we get here,
when we
they
get here,
drop down.
they drop down, and especially for some people, they drop down the moment they step their feet in the host house.
Exactly.
You feel like I'm in my host. Like I know people who have stayed so long with their host until their host tells them, you know what? Now you have a job, but you're still staying here. Instead of moving out, just pay me $1,000 for rent and bills, and then we will share. Now you find someone now stays with their host for years and years, because they are afraid to venture out there. Because now I'm in America. There's nothing else I want as long as I'm in America. And that's the mistake that most of us usually do. How did you jump
And
out from
and
that thing?
before we come to that, I was about to mention that, and that's most of the cases. You will find that those people who
Mhm,
stay with their hosts for a long time, or those
mhm.
people who are afraid to go out and figure out life,
Yeah.
they are the same people who will go back to Africa or wherever they came from
Yeah.
after like 30 years when they are exactly like how they came.
The same thing.
The same person, because they never step their feet out there and figure out how things are done, figure out life in America or any other new place where they go.
You never learned anything. You just
Yeah.
went, stayed in one location, and then came back the same way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
when you go to Africa and you're from America, everyone keeps quiet when you're talking because they think you're the one who knows everything.
I know, right? Yeah, you have been here for some time, so yeah.
Yeah.
You know everything, so
You,
nobody's gonna say anything.
yeah. But
For us,
unfortunately, mhm,
yeah, for us, because um I would say we came here with a goal. We knew why we came here,
mm,
even from day one.
mhm,
So we had to do whatever it took
mhm,
for us to figure out life, right? There's
mhm.
no way we could, because this family that hosted us, they have 4 children.
Oh, wow.
And so that means we were in the same house, 12 of us.
Oh, wow. You had to figure things out fast. You did not even have time for luxury.
No, not really. We lived with them for like a month, and that's because a month and a half, and that's because in Maine, getting a house in Maine is another thing.
It's a nightmare.
Yeah, the houses, they have a problem of housing, housing issue. It's very, very, very common there.
Is it because of
So it's
the,
not easy to get your own house there, and they're so expensive.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So we stayed with them for that time, but we were looking for our own house.
mhm,
And then, yeah, time came, we got it, and we moved out.
yeah.
So there's no way they would even think of telling us to pay 1,000 for rent, and we would keep staying with them, because
Yeah.
no, it wasn't easy.
It was not an option. So when you moved
Mm-hmm.
out, did you move out to your own house or an Airbnb? Because I know even for me, I stayed with my host for only 1 month in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
my host even up to today is living well, has his own place, 2 kids, good neighborhood. So for me, I was so hungry for opportunity. But where I found my host, he had already relaxed in life. Like he has now the
Yeah.
American dream, a house, family, job.
Yeah.
The, the environment he was living was kind of posh, no public transport.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to go where there's action. So I left after
Yeah.
a month. And
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't have money for an apartment, I started living in an Airbnb. How
Mm-hmm.
did you guys like move straight apartment or a house? How did you do it?
We moved in an apartment, a 3-bedroom apartment, and we lived in that apartment it was expensive. I remember, I think we were paying it 2,500 something. And, it was last night when we remembered like our first days when we got here. And it was like, these apartments, there's a family down and then you go up. You have you go upstairs, you have another family. They call them multi-family something.
Yeah.
So we were in the top apartment, so we lived up there. Yeah. So yeah, that's where basically that's how we started life. And now remember, we had little children. Right? Our youngest son started walking when we got here. By the time we got here, he had not even started walking. So the oldest children, they had to go to school. They had to go to school. And if you have children here, you're not taking them to school, that's even an offense.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to take them to school as soon as possible.
Allow me to cut you short. How did you guys qualify for an apartment? Because most of my viewers have been asking for new residents if I want to get an apartment. In fact, some of my viewers are asking me about getting a home before they get to the United States. I know part of the qualification factors is income, rental history, credit check, and all that. You guys were just fresh. How did you get an apartment?
Wow. That's also something challenging. But of course, like I said, because you have a host, a friend or a host, like everything goes through that person. That's the maker or breaker of your life.
Yeah, at least the host was able to to initiate that process for you.
Yeah, to initiate the process for us to get our own apartment.
Yeah. At this point, have you guys started working?
Yeah. So my husband is the one who started working. Of course, now I switched to being a full-time mom ever since. Because you know how we our lives are structured back home. You at least have you have family, you have friends. You have we have maids. I don't know in Kenya, but in Rwanda we had maids. I was working, but I had a maid who could take care of the children and basically take care of the home, I should say, when you're away at work.
Yeah.
But now you come here, it's you and your husband and your children only, nobody else. No family, no friends, no relative, no maid. So how are you going to figure out life? And I see somebody who asked in the comment, how about a single mom? So that's like, it's like you are starting everything from zero. You're starting a new kind of life that is totally different from what you were used to.
Yeah. And maids here are very expensive. Even if you wanted, you cannot hire in a maid here unless you are a king or a queen. You are from the hierarchy family. What do they call?
And remember, you're hiring a maid to go to work, and you're being paid on hourly basis. So you get paid depending on how many hours you have worked. And now you're gonna come back and pay that maid the same thing.
Almost the same thing. So why would you go out to make, for example, $300 and then come and give $300 to the maid?
Exactly. So why would you do that? So it's impossible to have a maid here. It's really impossible.
Yeah.
So we took that decision. We decided to do it like that. So my husband got a job. Of course, the host showed the way. And he got a job, so I started taking care of the kids, being a full-time mom, a stay-home mom.
Yeah. Damn. In an apartment, still in Maine, right?
In Maine.
Damn. How did you now start thinking? When we started talking, I feel like our connection usually, first of all, came from the courage it takes to step away from your comfort zone and try new. How come
Yeah.
you not stick? You guys have help. You have a host who's showing you around. You have your husband has a job. Kids are in school. Why? What made you think of another? You said you live in Arizona. What made you think of other states, or what happened in between then and now?
Yeah, that's amazing. So, so when we got here, remember I told you we knew what we wanted from day one. We had our own goals. Like we knew what we wanted to do in life, right? In US life. So my husband used to tell me that Maine is a transit. Like he never liked it.
You never liked it.
Yeah. So every time we were there, but we were on our way from Maine, going to other states. First of all, he didn't like the weather. But me myself, I kind of got used to it, and the kids, we had kind of adopted to it, and we were getting used to it. But then he didn't like it, and then so like he was always moving out of Maine.
Right.
Like always, he never got stable.
Yeah.
Because of that weather, of the coldness, and the winter period, summer season is like 2-3 months. After that, then winter kicks in, fall and then winter. So like year long, they're in that period of coldness for like 6-7 months. It's a long time.
Yeah.
So we didn't like that. And him and being sick, getting sick every time the weather changes, the children are coughing, we are coughing. Like we didn't like that. So we lived in Maine for like 2.5 years. In that kind of life is working. Yes, we had the host. Like now we had figured out life in Maine. So we had gotten used to it. But still, we thought we can get a better place. We can, we can run away from that coldness and go to a hotter state. Coming from Rwanda and Africa in general, no, you cannot afford staying in that kind of weather for all your life. There's some people who have been there who are comfortable. Like I said, they have been there for like years and years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. They are still okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it depends on who you are and what you want. Yeah. So we decided to move, to relocate, to move from that weather and go figure out life in another state, in a new state, see how people are living there, see if we can make life out of Maine.
Yeah.
And, explore other opportunities in another state.
And for someone who was asking about daycare, I think daycare is the same as just having a maid. If you choose daycare, it's very expensive. It's like you're just giving someone.
Daycare is very, 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 very expensive.
Yeah. In fact,
and you're very new in the country. You're not working. You haven't started working. Now you take children to daycare. It's very expensive. And besides that, the way children get sick from those daycares is also another thing.
And you don't know what your child is doing the whole day or how they are.
You have no idea.
Yeah. So the courage, is it TD Jakes? TD Jakes talks about, there's a sermon TD Jakes talks about the courage of changing course. If you have time, Google it on YouTube. That is a very powerful sermon. I like it. The courage of changing course. If you know, a river just goes one direction. But sometimes if a river wants to change that course, it starts spilling rocks on the side until it creates another stream.
Yeah.
So changing course, if you're used to going this way, now you've been forced to make another stream, you know, make sure you break all those rocks in between. It's so hard and it's so difficult.
Yeah, it's so hard. I'm telling you, it takes courage.
It takes courage.
It takes courage. Yeah, it takes
a
courage.
courage. But on the other side, when you get to the other side, it is usually worth it.
Yes.
Why?
That's very true. Huh?
Why Phoenix, Arizona? Is it because of the weather? You know, for those who are not familiar with Phoenix, Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona is a desert. Yeah, Arizona itself is
a desert. Yeah.
Those are from Kenya. Arizona is like Turkana of, you know, in Kenya, the desert, the Marsabit. Northern Kenya is very arid, or semi-arid. But I think Arizona is almost like that, apart from the cities. Why would you want to be in that heat?
Joe, you need to come in this heat and at least talk about it when you have been.
When I have been there.
Yeah.
Yes. Because here I have jackets, and then I am seeing people in Arizona with vests. And
now we are in our best. I think now in Arizona, we are one of those states that are in their best weather. Winter. Winter is the best period of the year. It's the best season in Arizona.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like you said, weather was number one thing that attracted us and pulled us to Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's during summer, it's the deadliest. It's hard. People die from heat.
People die?
Yeah, they do.
But not Africans.
Not Africans, really. No, I haven't seen any African. But I don't think Africans can die because we are used to it. But the heat here in summer is not like the heat in Africa, you know.
Oh, is it the humid?
It's not humid, but it's hot. I don't know. It's like fire.
Is it the one like even you find that it's like you cannot breathe. It's like it even affects the way you breathe. You just feel.
Yeah, it's a dry heat. It's you cannot even walk outside like anyhow. Because you can die from that heat.
What?
So there's nobody who can go out during summer, starting from May up to at least September.
Yeah.
Those 4 months, you gotta keep inside. Everything changes from outside and then goes inside.
I feel like I
But
can.
the good thing is,
there's
you cannot even think about exposing yourself to that heat.
Why?
You can die. You can easily die.
What if your job requires you to be outside?
No, I don't think there are people who work
like construction people.
They don't do that during summer.
Okay. So I think I relate because when I first came here, I came here in March, and last month I was in Florida. And you know, I did not have a vehicle, and my host at the time was very busy. So this one time I went to open a bank account because and
Florida is hot too, right?
Yeah, Florida is hot as well.
And humid, hot and humid.
Hot and humid, and there's alligators. You can lose your. You can be walking on the path, and an alligator jumps on you.
Yeah, they also say there are snakes here, but I haven't seen snakes. But they say during summer they are out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I Googled because one of the things about America in general, even if you have, most of the time, if you have money in your pocket, that money cannot help you.
No.
Yeah, I had some money, but I needed to have a bank account so that I can put that money in a debit or credit card. I can even pay for Uber. You know, I couldn't even
Yeah,
pay.
yeah.
So my host is working every day. I don't want to bother him. So what
Mm-hmm.
I did is I Googled the nearest bank from his location. And I
Mm-hmm.
saw it's almost 30 minutes walking distance. And
Mm.
started to walk. I almost collapsed before I got there.
I know.
In America, nobody walks on the walkways. You're just by yourself there. You can die and die for real.
Yeah, I had a friend also who came from Africa. She went direct to Florida. She
Mhm.
told me the same thing. She was trying to walk on the street, and it
Yeah.
was during summer. She was like, I even fainted, like I couldn't even breathe.
Yeah.
And yeah,
For real. So you decide to move to Florida. I think someone here asked about why quit nursing. Nurses are needed. Previously, you had mentioned that you quit your nursing career. Is that when you decided to go to school for nursing?
oh, next time when you host me, I'm gonna talk about that.
Okay. Okay.
Because I had started it way back when I was still in Maine,
Yeah.
trying to, to juggle, see if I can go to school while taking care of the kids,
Yeah.
trying to figure out how to do it. I had started it, but yeah, I'll talk about that next time.
Is that
How
is that
Mhm.
why is that a motivation from your host? The the
This-
nursing thing. Yeah, going to nursing.
it
Is that
was
a
not
direction
from
that
him. Yeah,
directed you?
yeah, it was not actually from him, but
Yeah.
was from another friend
Okay.
who who is here, who has been here before us.
Yeah.
And he really encouraged me to do this. I'm gonna talk about that next
So
time when we
next
come
time,
here.
then I will edit the caption so that we can talk about why you quit your nursing career in our next series. Most of the time, my lives are usually 1 hour. I usually don't like to exceed that. We've been here for 1 hour already,
Yeah,
but
we've exceeded it.
yeah. But now you've been in Phoenix, Arizona up until to this date.
Mm-hmm.
Still you're pushing strong, 4 kids. You are a superwoman. How do you even manage that in America? Because most people with kids do not. Most people with kids are usually afraid to venture abroad.
And I'm working. I'm working.
And you're also working from. Are you working from home? From home though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing we're gonna talk about. I'll try to link it because it's like the same thing. I will
Yeah.
link it with my nursing journey,
Okay.
and
Okay.
then and then come back to this. But before, maybe I guess you wanted us to stop because we've gone beyond 1 hour.
Yeah.
Um.
Then we can do a part two when we
Yeah.
have.
Part two, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Mhm.
agree. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You were going to say before.
Before we go, well, again, I just remembered that that's another thing that will connect. It's the same story, like the same thing.
Yeah.
I'll talk about uh,
Mhm.
other things that I tried when I got here.
Mhm.
Trying to figure out if I can bring in income home, much as I am a stay-home mom.
Yeah, but before we go, maybe you can touch a little bit about this American dream and how you've seen it so far. Because in my previous recent video since December, it's like I had an awakening, a
Mm.
realization that I will never make ends meet. For those who are watching from Kenya, it's easy to earn, say, 500,000 Kenyan shillings, which is around maybe $4,000
Mm.
USD, and
Mm.
still be broke. And still
Yeah.
be broke. You just have that money, and when you tell someone back at home, it's easy to earn 500,000 Kenyan shillings, they feel like you are the top of the food chain, because in Kenya, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But here you can earn, most earners in the US, I think the average is between 3 and maybe 6. That's the
Yeah.
average.
Yeah. That's the average. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can still be living paycheck to paycheck with that average.
Mm-hmm.
Here I got to a realization is this December when I was analyzing what I have done in 365 days or in my 4 years, and I was like, damn, This is a rat race. I am just Mark time. I am going in circles, just the same location.
Yeah.
So the American dream started becoming a little bit diminishing, like it was not worth the price. And we are talking now about having the courage to change course. In a nutshell, so that we can continue next time.
Yeah.
What's your view about the American dream? And for those who feel like it's not coming through for them as they had expected, what are some of the things they can do to change, to have changes in their lives?
That's a great question, Joe. So, American dream, from my point of view, is real. It's real.
Right.
It's real and it's there. It's real and it's there. But it depends on how you approach it.
Right.
When you approach it the wrong way and you are doing the wrong things, trying to get to it, you will never get it.
Yeah.
It's like, I sometimes people say it's an illusion. It's something you're looking at, but if you don't know how to go the right way to take that, it's going to take you to it, then you will keep rotating around it. You will never get it to it. You'll never get it.
It's an illusion, and you can rotate even for 20, 30 years.
Oh my God, even for 100 years without you catching it. Yet you're looking at it.
It's just here. You cannot test it. It's so real. It's here because you see it every day. All the that you people see on TV about America and all that, those things, they are there, and it's an everyday life.
Yes. And there are some people who are living it, by the way.
People, in fact, who are living it. In fact, some of people who are living it, you know them, like them.
I personally know them, right? I know them. And I'm pretty sure you know some of them. You know them. Yeah, and some people know them. But somehow, somewhere, again, it comes back to what we started from when we were getting started. There's something wrong we're doing.
For sure. Coming to America and getting a job is not the ultimate solution, because
not at all.
Yeah, we were wired that, you know what, America, there are so many jobs. Go there, get a job. But getting a job is not even close to becoming a solution or even achieving the American dream.
No way, no way. So that's the way we are wired, and that's what we got used to when we were growing up in Africa. That's the thing to do in Africa. Right. But when you come here, you gotta change your mindset. Right. You gotta change your thinking.
Yeah.
Because, you know, Joe, there are some people who come from Africa. They come here, they spend 20 years, 30 years. But those people are the same, they are the same like the way they came here.
Right.
Again, it's going to come back to you if you're not willing to sacrifice, if you're not willing to change your mindset, if you're not willing to go out of your comfort zone, if you're not willing to do something that you used to think that you cannot do and then do it, you are not going anywhere. You're going to stay where you are.
Right.
So people who come here, they don't want to change. They don't want to go through all these things. They don't want to do anything. They are just them. Like the way they will go back to where they came from. The same people. If you don't make any change in your life, life will not change. That's you will stay the same person.
Right, and that's what I noticed.
And that also, and it's very true to this American dream we are talking about. American dream is real.
Yeah.
It's there.
Yeah.
But what are you doing to get to it? That's the question. Can you change what you're doing so that you get to it? If you cannot, if you're not willing to change what you're doing, you will never get to it.
And that also has to do with something, being satisfied with too little. I feel like because for most of us, we came from humble backgrounds. And we've never seen, personally, I had never seen, say, $500,000 in my life, you know. And sometimes I find myself complaining and feeling so empty and sad, but I'm in a very good car. I'm living in a very good apartment. I'm wearing clothes that I always wanted to wear, you know, complaining. And then I realized, I think for those people who are stuck in the same position for years, the problem is you're satisfied with too little, because the America way of life. The things that we grew up not having, they are normal here.
Yes,
so
exactly.
Yeah. So
there's also that side. So when you come here and you have those things, you think you're there.
You feel like you're there. Now there are people now who their dopamine level stopped, even it's not working.
It did not drop only, but it stopped working.
It stopped working, it disappeared because I have like a nice car. I have a few dollars. I can go to a restaurant after 1 year. Imagine the thing that hurts me, and I went to Kenya twice last year. And I had an amazing experience. And I said, I want to get to a place where I can go to Kenya if I want to every month. I don't want to be in a situation where I have to wait a whole year to get 2 weeks to go. Because number one, the kind of thing I'm doing in America cannot allow me to leave. Second, the kind of thing I'm doing in America cannot pay me enough to live. So again, you find like,
I got you.
Yeah, we are satisfied with too little. And I think it's PK who said we should talk about how not survive in USA without the rat race. Now we are going, I think in part 2, we're
gonna do that. Yes.
Yeah, on the solutions. And now, I have already started that conversation briefly, even with my other guests, on now how we can escape this rat race. Allah, there's someone here from Rwanda.
Oh, my brother, that should be a boy of mine. Rebero. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one is saying is tuned in from Mihango. Mihango is like 10 minutes from where I used to live when I was in Kenya.
Oh, that's your neighbor, huh?
That's my neighbor. He probably Mutura. Mutura is the freshest meat in town. He probably eats mutura in my
we have that phrase too, but it means uncooked.
Uncooked.
Yeah, like raw uncooked kind of. So maybe it's fresh also.
Yeah, maybe. For us, mutura is for Kenyans, mutura it's usually grilled, and it's very good.
Oh.
Yeah. So he probably goes to my place of mutura and supu. Supu now is the soup. I will teach you these things, don't worry. Now, mutura, before mutura goes to the grill, she's usually boiled first with other parts. For example, you slaughtered a goat, the liver, the pancreas, other internal organs, the heart. So mutura is usually boiled alongside those things.
Oh, and then grilled.
And then now it is grilled. Now, the soup that was boiling the mutura is put in a jerrycan. And then when you put it in a jerrycan, you do it like this. You
shake it?
You shake it, but you don't just shake it like this.
Yeah, you shake it.
There's a way you shake it. You have to make it go and come back. And then now there's a way it tastes when you do that. So it goes to my location of mutura.
I'm pretty sure you're missing mutura.
I am missing mutura, baby. Cow's head and migu.
Yeah, from head and migu.
Yeah. So anyway, the American dream is there. For those people who might feel like we are discouraging you guys when we talk about the reality on the ground, that is not the intention. What we are trying to do is initiate a conversation where Africans, when we come here, we are not mark timing on one location. I wouldn't want to be the guy who people will say went to the USA and has been there for 10 years, 20 years, and there's nothing to show for it. Yeah. So far, 4 years.
And Joe, sorry to cut you short. If you are not careful enough, that could happen to you.
Yeah.
Because it has happened to other people before.
Yeah. And it's just settling, because I analyzed during this Christmas session, I analyzed my life in 4 years, and I realized all I have done is survival. I've just been feeding myself and paying bills. I've just been surviving. So it shouldn't be like that. And for people who we came from countries where we were free, We know
Mm,
you're not free. It shouldn't be like that.
no, no.
Yeah. Mary, thank you for coming through, and I enjoy interacting with you and hearing your views. And I hope that we will do this again. Yeah,
I'm
this
reading. I'm reading Lucy's
Lucy Monkey
comment.
USA. Yeah.
Yeah,
Lucy Monkey is also a very good subscriber, a very top subscriber of this kind of mindset and conversation. You should
yeah.
chat with Lucy. You will like her.
We're gonna. Yeah, we are talking.
Oh, you're talking. Okay.
I'm talking with her. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. That
yeah.
is that is good. Ladies and
Hi,
gentlemen,
Lucy. Yeah,
yeah,
she said hi, Mary.
yeah. Thank you, Lucy, for joining in. Lucy is knee deep in the deep state. She's knee deep in the matrix. So right now she's on a lunch break. We wish you all the best in your 9 to 5.
Yeah,
You gotta
we
do
do.
what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you so much, Joe, for having me. And I'm looking forward to our next session. These
Mhm.
kind of conversations are not about, discouraging people or anything. But
Mhm.
like you said, it's like making people, even those, like, it's a wake up call to those who have been here and those who are planning to come here.
Right.
So what it does, it opens your eyes, it prepares you. And
Mhm.
then if you have been here for some time,
Mhm.
they it's gonna help you to
Right.
wake up
Right.
and see if there are some things you can change around you in your life.
Right.
And it's never too late. It's not too late.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I like this kind of conversations as long as it's gonna change somebody's life, as long as it's gonna add value into somebody's life. I'm
Mm.
always, you will always have me here. As long as you're ready to host me, I'll be there.
Thank you. And I can't wait to tune into your channel as well and interact with your viewers. I'm sure so many of my viewers would like to see the Rwanda, the Rwanda countryside or Rwanda mindset. So next time, ladies and gentlemen, we will be on Mary's channel, and
Yeah,
we will interact with her viewers as well.
yeah, yeah.
Let me slide in a Swahili statement in there. We are not talking about your promise, but if unatafuta bibi ama unatafuta mzee, so unajua vile wanakuaga wa handsome and beautiful there, kuja hiyo pande utawaona. So, yeah.
Yeah. Bakuje pande hapa watawaona.
I forgot Rwanda speaks Swahili.
No, yeah, we do. They said Swahili was born here and grew up somewhere, and then he was killed in Uganda and then died in, buried in Rwanda. So no, they say he was born in Tanzania.
It was born
and then raised up in Kenya, I think, and then I don't know what happened to it when he got to Uganda. Yeah, he was killed in Uganda and then buried in Rwanda.
Oh, buried.
So
So what happens to Congo? Because Congo has something that is not understandable.
maybe it will resurrect from Congo. I don't know.
Yeah.
So we have some Swahili in Rwanda, and yeah, I understand some Swahili, and sometimes I try to speak it, though it's broken. But I trust me, if I go to Kenya or any other Swahili speaking country, I can get food.
Yeah, yeah, but they will know when ni mtu wa kukam, like you are a stranger, so they will.
I know.
Try to steal from you. Yeah. What's your channel? How can people find you?
So my channel is called Life with Mary.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're asking, yeah. So it's called Life with Mary. Like I said, when we got started, I have another one that I do in Kinyarwanda.
Okay.
And that one is the one that I've been trying to focus in, the one in Kinyarwanda.
Mm-hmm.
But when we started these conversations, so I want now to focus on this Life with Mary, the one in English. So I want, like I said, I want to get like into content creation. Now that I have my brother Joe,
Yeah.
Uko Pare Pare, who's
Niko
gonna
pale.
help me, and
Yeah.
we're gonna have all these conversations. I'm gonna try to to also build and focus on this English one. Because I don't think any Kenyan who's gonna be on my Kinyarwanda channel is going to get
Understand, yeah.
anything they need from there. So
Yeah.
yeah. So
Life.
so life with Mary.
Okay.
And
Sounds.
that is life in the diaspora. Not any kind of life, but
Yeah.
life in the diaspora.
Relating to life
Yeah,
in
I've
the.
done some videos on it, but I haven't been consistent. But 2025, trust me, Joe's audience, I'm gonna work on my content creation on Life with Mary on the other side.
And your consistency is something I've said about myself in 2025. I'm gonna make this a bit because we cannot afford to let the people who look up to us for information like this down.
Yeah. Me too. I'm gonna do it. Michael is asking when is part 2.
Yeah, part 2.
We're gonna have to announce that. I don't know when. When do you think?
We will plan and schedule it. I think the problem with our kind of lives here, it's so unpredictable, and with work, we have to make arrangements. Like for this live, when did we plan about this? Last week?
Last week, yeah.
Yeah, last week, sometime last week. So we have to plan way much in advance.
Ahead of time, yeah.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. You guys could have been anywhere else in the world.
Comment that Swahili was strangled in Congo. In Nyongwa.
Yeah, those people speak something else, but they still say it's Swahili. It was strangled in Kenya.
In Congo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Consistency is key. That's our vibe for
20. Yes, Michael, that's true.
You guys could have been anywhere else in the world, but you are here with us. Mary, thank you for your time, and I'm looking forward for part 2 as well.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and thank you so much for having me, and thank you to Joe's audience for keeping it here. You've been interactive. We've been with you all the time. Yeah, we are looking forward to having you again next time when we come here.
Yeah.
Until then, I have to say bye.
Thank you, guys. Goodbye, and have a good one. Good night for those who are in that time zone. For those who are in the US, have a good afternoon. Bye-bye.